My name is Adriaan Schout. I'm a policy analyst of the Netherlands Institute of International Relations, called Klingendaal, the Dutch think tank. I'm here at the UVic, and one of the projects I'm doing here is I'm looking at the micro level of national institutions and how national institutions are actually a vital component for the Eurozone. Now, this project is important for the EU and for the Eurozone because in all the debates about the problems of the Euro, people look at the European rules and gaps at the European level and how European integration needs to be reinforced. But actually there's very little thought being given to the national institutions and how national institutions should perform in the European context. For example, if we look at the reliability of statistics, which may sound like an extremely boring topic, but statistics are vitally important. Yet the Euro crisis showed that national statistical offices did not produce the reliable statistics that were actually needed in a Eurozone. So national institutions are very important. Similarly, social relations at the national level. Do they allow flexible adaptation to the Eurozone? As we see in many countries, France, Spain, Greece, the flexibility of social relations are insufficient, but also the way to manage social relations to a transition are not sufficient to actually allow participation in the Eurozone. Now, what we see is that this gap at the institutional level nationally receives very little attention. At the same time, we see that at the EU level, for example, Barroso and the European Commission, they want to push ahead with a federal European agenda, which looks at a bigger role for the European Parliament, possibly the creation of European ministers, such as a European Minister for Finances, a bigger European budget attached to the Eurozone. So that actually brings the EU much closer to a federation. In a way, this is a very strange development because many of the problems that we see in the Eurozone are at the national level, but the responses people are looking at is at the European level. There may actually be a bit of an agenda here that, for example, the Commission is using the Euro crisis to reinforce the federal model. Whether this is wise, that needs to be considered very carefully, because these discussions about federalization will definitely lead towards treaty change. But the treaty change will probably meet with referenda at the national level, and then presumably member states will veto them. So also in line with the principle of subsidiarity, we should look at national strengths and weaknesses and how they match the demands from the Eurozone, instead of only focusing on federalization of the EU. Now, this doesn't mean that we should not reinforce European integration. Definitely there are stronger rules necessary. There's also better supervision necessary. But only discussing federalization without reinforcing the member states might be a very risky development. The project we do here at UVic will actually look at the national institutions and whether they are strong enough to participate in the Eurozone.